Steve, you played in a lot of these.
Yeah.
You played a lot of games in general, but FCS games. When you guys play this way, like what do you take away from this as a player? When you have a dominant performance against a team who you guys are smart.
I just look at it as how we play to our standard. Just how we do meet our goals, or do we achieve the standards that we set for our team at that point, and then just how do we perform, execute within our scheme. That's pretty much what we look at.
How do you feel like you did that?
We played pretty well. A couple of things we definitely need to correct, but overall, I think we played pretty well.
We played a lot of different guys and shuffling guys in and out, and by the end, obviously, a lot of young guys. I assume that makes it challenging when it's a lot of new faces.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel in terms of being on the same page, play to play, and particularly as some of the young guys start to come in too?
I feel like that's a tip the hat off to the coaches. That's good coaching. Where you're able to get a lot of guys in that know what they're doing and able to execute and uphold the standard that we set as a team. So I feel like that's just good coaching.
Did you practice and prepare this past week for as much rotation among the deep safeties as there was today? I mean, as far as like Evan obviously didn't get out there.
Yeah.
Like, so you played with BA a ton, but whether it was Sheem, whether it was Brian, whether it was one of the freshmen, were you guys practicing like that many rotations, or was this just kind of...
Yeah, we just honestly, it's more so just know what you're doing, whether you're a one or a two. If you're on the field, you're a starter. So it's just understand what you're doing at any moment and point in time, because you never know when it's going to be your opportunity to get in the game. So just taking advantage of your reps, count the reps, make the reps count, don't count the reps.
Now that you guys can look ahead to next week and that opportunity, as one of the few guys who was around and played with Tyler, defended against Tyler a lot in practice. What are your thoughts about playing him now in a game that matters?
It's exciting. Exciting, an opportunity to play against my brother. I still have a great relationship with him. It's just I'm excited for the opportunity.
Are there things that you remember from practice? I mean, I realize now it's like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But are there things you remember from practice about tendencies that he had, or are there just things you're going to have to pick up on more from film than memory at this point?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I go that far back in time, but I just know he's a really intelligent player, very instinctive. So.
You gave up the early touchdown there. Obviously, a lot of running. What was kind of talked about or just corrected to kind of shut him down after that?
Just guys doing their job. We coach doing your job is enough, and make sure you just do your job. And a couple of those plays leading up to that touchdown, some of the guys didn't do their job to execute at a high level. So.
And then, with the guys rotating, is that kind of a challenge, or is just that something you were kind of prepared for, looking at different guys at inside linebacker, at corner, at safety, play by play?
Like I said before, I think it's just good coaching. We got a lot of guys that are able to get in. They know what they're doing. They know how to execute at a high level. So we're able to rotate guys, and we got a lot of good depth that can play. So, like I said, if you have guys that are able to get in, know what they're doing, you have no problem, rotating, because there's no drop off.
Right. So it's almost indicative of just how good the competition then has been. Just the fact that you can play so many guys and feel like there isn't that drop off.
For sure.
What is obviously you talked a little bit about Tyler, but what's different about next week? Obviously they like to pass the ball a lot. So what's kind of the challenge with playing Texas Tech versus this week?
The difference is it's an away game, so we got to go to somebody else's house, and that's not always the most comfortable situation. So we got to make sure we find a way to be comfortable being uncomfortable and embrace that. So that's pretty much the big difference, personally.
Steve, sorry if you've been asked this before, but just what did you see from the newcomers, like the true freshmen? I think you guys played 21 or 22 of them. What did you see from them in the fall, and what did you see from them today?
Those guys we have a legit attention detail, a major focus, and honing on what they got to do and what they got to execute on. From practices, camp up to this point, they've been executing at a high level, and we got a lot of young guys able to play because they know what they're doing. They're not going to get in the game and mess up and not get misaligned, not communicate well. They're going to get in, they're going to execute at a high level. So like I said, it's good coaching, and it's a lot of our players and the older guys, setting that standard, and the young guys following behind.
A lot of times during the fall, a lot of defensive players mentioned that year two in Tosh's defense, things were clicking, you guys are playing faster. One touchdown night for Portland State, but after that, lights out. Is that how you expect the defense to kind of perform this season?
I wish we didn't give up that 7 points. I wish we would have had a donut for them, but like I said, it's just, that's our standard. We don't want to give up no scores, no explosive plays, so high standards for the defense overall.
I know you probably have had this question already, but it wasn't just setting the scoring record, but it was setting the margin of victory record as well, which plays into your hands, right? What are your thoughts on just the performance you guys had as a whole and being able to set that record?
So we just try to just dominate performance. Faceless, nameless opponents. It's always Oregon versus Oregon, and we have standards. And if 80 points does us mean the standard, then so be it. So we're just trying to just make sure we meet our standards every way, shape, or form.
Hasheem's a guy who, I mean, his play really jumps off the screen. What do you think he brings to this defense that it might have been missing last year? Was there anything that stood out to you today?
Great communicator. He plays fast, really aggressive, great around the football, a lot of production. You just, like you say, you see him make plays, and you want to make plays too. So I think he's really, his play style is very contagious, I would say.